they did it intentionally, maybe they did it inadvertently, but you later realized that label that they gave you, you took that upon yourself, internalized that, and it made a pretty big difference in your life. That's what I wanted to talk about today. This topic has come up in so many different ways for me this past week. I was on a call the other day, and one of the people there mentioned that their dad always told them that money would burn a hole in their pocket. That's something I've heard before. And she said that from that moment on, she was just somebody that was bad with money, that she just thought that was a part of who she was. In that same conversation, we talked about positive labels and how, they can sometimes even have a negative effect. We were looking at some research that had been done on students that are identified as academically or intellectually gifted, and how that sometimes results in them being afraid to try new things because they are so afraid of failure, because they have this feeling that they are supposed to be good at everything. And I could relate to that. That was a program that I was a part of. It was a label that I received in school. And I have always had issues with not being able to enjoy things unless I was good at them. So I wonder if there's a connection there. And so this all brings me to yesterday when I got the most amazing phone call from one of my tutoring clients. It was a young lady who has worked so hard this year to grow in her reading skills. At the beginning of the year, she was not projected to be proficient on her reading EOG, but she was. We were so excited. We were hooping and hollering. That's something we do in the South when we celebrate. And we were just smiling, and it was so much fun to have that conversation with her. It wasn't long, though, after I hung up from that phone call that I started to think about other students that were not going to get that same news. Teaching and loving kids is just this constant roller coaster of highs and lows, of victories, and then of heartache. And so I thought about children that are going to get that piece of paper in North Carolina about their EOG, and there's going to be two boxes. They'll say proficient or not proficient, and one of them will be checked. And when I looked at the data, guess what? About half of our third through eighth graders in reading are going to see a piece of paper that says not proficient. And I wonder what that does to them. I wonder if they're able to separate that score from themselves, because I know many adults struggle with things like that. They might see that box checked, not proficient, and what goes through their mind is not my score was not proficient. I think what goes through their mind a lot of times is I'm not proficient or I'm not sufficient. Labels can become your identity very quickly, and that emotional impact matters. Whether they're positive labels or negative labels, they can still have either positive or negative effects, no matter which type they are. So, academic growth matters, effort matters, learning matters, testing matters, but years from now, students will have forgotten the test questions, the content they learned. They will have forgotten a lot of that. They'll probably forget the score that they made on some of these tests, but I think they're going to remember how those scores and labels made them feel about themselves as kids. And they may even reflect on how that has impacted them into adulthood. So, key takeaways for me this week have been that language matters, your perspective matters, the emotional safety of our kids matters, and that we need to help our young people understand that scores are not a reflection of them at all in terms of their worth as an individual. So I've seen this message go around on Facebook and Instagram from Dr. Brad Johnson. And so I'm just going to leave you with this thought from him. Parents, as testing season comes to an end, remember this. A test score measures a small slice of performance on one particular day. It does not measure your child's intelligence, potential, creativity, character, work ethic, kindness, resilience, or future success. Some kids will score high and some will not. But years from now, nobody is going to ask the mechanic fixing your brakes, the lineman restoring power during a storm, the construction worker building homes, the farmer, the welder, the truck driver, the firefighter, or the nurse. Hey, what did you score on your standardized test? Because the world has always needed more than test takers. It needs people who can build things, fix things, lead people, work hard, care about others, and make a difference. A test measures a moment, it does not measure a life, a future, or the greatness a child may one day bring to this world. I love you guys. I am praying for the kiddos this week, and I hope that maybe I've been able to share a few different perspectives this week that help you through end of year testing. I'll be back soon with more tips and strategies and things to ponder. My name's Kylie Larson. I own an academic tutoring company and success coach for students. And I am just so excited about this endeavor. And I hope that you will be back the next time I go live. Bye, everybody.